Well, I walked into a nightmare that hasn't ended.
A nightmare is one way to describe what you are about to see. An Albuquerque home taken over by squatters. You see, the homeowner has been on the road working, and for weeks they've stolen everything valuable inside and left behind a disaster that honestly almost makes you sick just looking at it. Chase Golightly joins us now. Chase, you walk through the house, and I'm not joking or being smart here. I mean, you kind of needed a hazmat suit to go through that place.
Tessa, I'll tell you, if I knew just how bad this place was, I would have worn a hazmat suit. And to give you a better idea, this is what the house looked like before. This is the den. You can see a nice big screen TV here, some nice furniture, all organized and very well kept. You can tell the person really cares about their home. And this is what we saw here today. You can see that TV gone, the clock gone. The furniture was even rearranged by the squatters, and you can just see all this trash and garbage just right in the middle of the room. And to be honest, it's just disgusting, simply put. And these squatters were in the house for weeks before they got caught.
Vagrancy, demonic.
Unless you saw it yourself, you would not believe the destruction and the smells in this Albuquerque home. The homeowner's parents asked to remain anonymous, but they let us inside.
The degree of damage that he did is unbelievable.
Clothes thrown on the floor, along with garbage and trash.
And they urinated on some of the clothes.
Cigarette butts littered everywhere.
It's sickening. It's just sickening.
Burnt spoons and heroin needles also scattered across the entire house.
It's a hazmat situation.
Squatters took over while the homeowner was away for work.
Son is trying to make a living, and he has to come home to this.
They took everything they could. TVs, work tools, the stereo, and even the catalytic converter of the truck parked in the backyard.
There is not a single thing of value left in there. Nothing.
And then they just keep coming back.
As we were walking through,
Anybody in here?
the father noticed something strange.
These doors weren't closed before.
With one of the doors locked.
This door's locked, and it shouldn't be.
Not knowing what or who was on the other side.
There may be somebody in here. Hello?
With the turn of a key and a hard push,
Anybody in here?
the room was a mess. In plain sight, an ashtray and a needle.
It's terrorizing.
Both say this all started weeks ago.
The homeowner noticed something was wrong when he couldn't access his security cameras from his phone. This is where that security system was. You can see squatters tore it out from the wall and actually cut the wires to disable it.
So his mother went to check things out, never expecting who she'd find.
I drove in through the back driveway, and there was an individual there with the door open, with the lock broken, and I asked him what he was doing there. He said that he lived here.
Inside her son's kitchen, the squatter was cooking food on the stove. When she told him she was calling the police,
What was worse is that he told me, go ahead and call the cops. I'm going to finish eating.
the suspect was taken into custody. But before he left, gave this warning.
He literally told me, I'll be back.
2 weeks later, he was back and trashed the place even more. The homeowner's mom says her son has given up.
His reaction is, it's so far gone that I'm going to have to start over.
Asking his mom to not go back, fearing her safety.
He said, but I'm worried that you're going to go over there and one of these crazies comes after you with a needle or something like that.
I've been told the homeowner plans on selling the house and really just wants to start over. They don't have hope that all their items and valuables will be returned, Tessa.
That is infuriating to see that. I don't know these people at all. Do we know anything about the squatter? I mean, you're talking about him being arrested multiple times. He's lying and saying that he lives here. He obviously doesn't.
Tessa, that's right, and this is actually that suspect right here, Levy Monhay. And according to police reports we obtained, when he was arrested the first time, he told officers he was God and he sensed that witchcraft was happening in the house, and that's why he went inside and lived there for about a week. And then after he was arrested just 2 weeks later, he was back at the home and rearrested, all while wearing the homeowner's clothes. Now, we did reach out to police to ask what can homeowners do to stop something like this from happening to other homeowners, and they did send us a list of tips about what people can do. First, you can lock all doors and windows when you leave. The issue is that the homeowner did do that. The next one is close blinds and curtains. They actually had metal bars on the windows, still figured out a way to get in. Avoid leaving large boxes from high-priced items out with trash. They did do that. All those boxes were inside, and the squatters actually went through those boxes. And then finally install security cameras, if possible, as a deterrent. We do know that they had those security cameras, and when they broke inside, they tore it out from the wall. But still, police say this is a very unique situation given the mental health factors. And we checked, and that suspect is still in custody at this time, Tessa.
That is just unbelievable. Hope those people can get some kind of answer there, closure. Chase, thanks.
Yeah, so Joy, who are we meeting today?
Well, 10-year-old Zion Flint started his own newspaper late last year, and now he's got sponsors, subscribers, and about 100 people reading each issue in person and online.
Every week, you'll find Zion Flint delivering the weekly case.
I read a book, and the main character in the book starts a newspaper, and it looks like he's having a good time.
What was their paper called?
The Neighborhood Tattler.
How'd you come up with the weekly case?
I just thought of detective cases, and I thought, I can't do this daily, so yeah.
Let's rock and roll, buddy. He is always doing different projects all of the time, so I was like, okay, this is what we're gonna do today, so I was like, we're just rolling with it, yeah.
Did you expect it to keep going for months?
I didn't.
Even I didn't. I thought this was gonna be just a one-issue gag, and then that would be it.
Months later.
Hi! What's up?
Awesome.
Wow, new issue of the paper.
Awesome. I love Fridays.
A visit from Zion is the best part of this neighborhood's week.
Just came to drop off your hopefully favorite paper.
He's super outgoing and extroverted. I don't know where he gets that from. He loves to draw, he loves to read and write, so it just kind of was a natural fit to do a newspaper with illustrations.
Some issues focus on crime.
Last week, some hooligans tried to burn down Astro zombies. If you see anything suspicious, alert your neighbors. We all want to keep each other safe.
There's even weather reports.
Ever since Monday, the weather has been pretty indecisive. We expect the same today and tomorrow.
And after a tough 2020, an article looking into the new year.
2021. We want this year to be a good year, right? Here are some things you can do during the year to make it good.
Well, as parents, I have a vision and a direction, but I have to like step back and just let him do what he wants to do.
Thank you, paying subscribers.
And it's, you know, always better than what I imagined in the first place.
Each issue has an ad,
Estate sale,
an advice column,
Dear Zion, I think I've watched everything on Netflix. What do I do?
and even a fun fact.
Did you know that the first item ever sold on eBay was a broken laser pointer?
Everything he does just takes off, and it's really amazing to see the community like rally around him to make these things happen.
Next week we'll do another ad with you, okay?
Wow, okay, thank you so much.
We might change it up a little this time.
At the end of 3rd grade,
Hello. Hello. Thank you. Of course.
Zion was supposed to have a talent show. But that never happened.
It was just one of those ideas again where it was like, well, we can do this. We'll just do this in the backyard. And I thought maybe 20 people tops, like performers and guests. And then
They had
again,
a sound system. They had
we had a
PA,
sound system.
yeah.
We did the whole thing. We had prizes and route, you know, like it was a whole thing.
Calling all performers and attendees too.
We went to his talent show, and so did the shop and the trophy people.
We had 50 people there, and a professional chef doing a food demonstration. And
It's just so amazing seeing these people come out and
it's like a little
support
celebrity.
me.
The weekly case is now at 24 issues.
Get creative, draw a picture, learn a new language, explore your neighborhood.
Readership has grown.
Hey, you got a big old staff. You got a lot of people. You got a lot of people delivered to you.
From dozens to about 100 people,
Hello!
with online subscribers too.
He inspires me all the time. So we're so proud of him.
Zion plans to keep publishing
It's the new issue of the paper!
until at least 50 issues or the end of the year.
I don't expect this idea to like die out or end anytime soon.
And his subscribers hope it won't either.
This always brings me a joy. I'm still in a smiley mood. Let me just, so my mouth doesn't start to hurt. Felt cool doing that.
Now, Zion tells me that he wants to be a filmmaker when he grows up, and he's got another issue of the weekly coming out this Friday. We've got a way for you to get on his mailing list. Just look for this story later this morning on KOB.com.
I don't know if you're here for this, Joy, but when Danielle and I were talking about this, we're like, this is the kid who gets things done.
Yeah, we're going to have to watch out for him.
We're going to work for him one day.
I think for all of our jobs at some point.
Also, you mentioned the ads. How does that work out?
Yeah, so they cost about $20 to $30 for that ad space, and that money just goes back into printing costs. So if the people pay a little bit more, then you can print more paper, and of course Zion draws all the logos himself.
We love him. Thanks, Joy.
That was 5:52 on your Thursday, and if you're planning your weekend, water rafting on the Rio Grande is one of the many popular activities that you can do right here in the Land of Enchantment.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, and the Los Rios River Runners have a deeper connection to the river. So they gave photojournalist Christian Marcelli not only a ride, but also a lesson in history.
The floor of our church is the Rio Grande River. The importance of the Rio Grande is that it's a lifeblood for our communities. We're still here, you know. This is our backyard. As indigenous communities along the Rio Grande, how we're related to the river is via our songs and prayers. And our prayers are answered, and here they come. We use that good energy that's being brought by the river into our fields, and we have not only healthy bodies but also healthy communities. It's not his story, it's our stories. It's coming from here. People still think we live in teepees, right? I have a kind of a different sense now, instead of being rush, rush, rush. Like, yeah, just kick it and let the flow take me down.
Watamu na payapovigio kawa na kaya omu na pinditoa omu na povi ochute.
We have guides representing Taos all the way down to Isdara.
There's hundreds and hundreds of petroglyphs, and that's because this is one of the main travel ways for the tribes.
There's lots and lots of stories, even personal stories that our guides share.
Start dancing around age 4 or 5. Some people will do like as young as 3.
Singing songs, what those songs mean to them. We also use this as an outdoor classroom, right? We're part of that education system when they come here. And we talk about who we are, and hoping that these individuals go back with a different sense of way to live. But I think the best ones would be when we bring all these young high school age, really young kids that come out here, and we bring them down the river, and they have a better appreciation for what they have in their backyard. A lot of these kids, they grow up within that 4-wall classroom setting. And when they come out here, their minds and their eyes are open because they find you, okay, wow, this is what I've been reading about. And they see it here, and it just yes, yes. And it's a lot more fun too with those small rafts. You can just zip around. And it builds teamwork, you know, because everybody's paddling in those small rafts. You have to work as a team. And hopefully people, after these trips, when they leave, they appreciate that and appreciate the outdoors.
A community brought together by tragedy. The vigil for cinematographer Helena Hutchins after she was killed on a film set here in New Mexico.
Her death shouldn't have happened. Union sets should be safe sets.
Plus, her husband and the film's director are both speaking out for the first time. And a closer look at how this happened, the ammunition, and how the prop gun ended up in Alec Baldwin's hands.
This is KOB4 Night Beat.
Tonight, many around the world are remembering Helena Hutchins, the director of photography, who died after she was accidentally shot on set Thursday in Santa Fe. Many gathered tonight in Albuquerque at Civic Plaza, including people who were working with her on the movie Rust. Spencer Schott was at the candlelight vigil. Spencer, what was the mood like?
Tommy, it was a solemn night downtown. Many people spoke about Hutchins and her work in the industry, but along with grief, many felt anger, saying her death is something that should have never happened.
Let's just take a moment.
Union and non-union members gathered on Civic Plaza to mourn the loss of Helena Hutchins. Candles were lit, tears were shed, and memories were shared.
To work with somebody that's that collaborative and who never, ever thought of herself as better than anyone on that set, I would have been lucky to have ever done another movie with another person like that, or with her, and I don't get to. It sucks.
Looking back on a life and a career cut short.
I also have read a lot about her having a bright future, and it's always interesting to me because it was so clear that she had a bright present, that she had a big effect on all the people that she worked with.
As folks shared their grief, others voiced their frustration.
I feel like this didn't need to happen, and it happened because people were working too many hours and they weren't being listened to. And so I feel like this is a really senseless act that happened.
Now an entire industry is left mourning the loss of one of their own.
She's a wonderful mom and a wonderful wife, and was just a wonderful soul. And I really hope more people like her exist.
Many people spoke at Hutchins' vigil, from friends and coworkers to national union representatives, addressing the crowd of hundreds that came to stand in solidarity.
Now, something else that the Control Authority wants people to know is that some arroyos here actually collect water from areas within 100 square miles. So even though it's dry right now, it could be raining somewhere else within that area, and all that water has to flow somewhere. And again, even with 3 people dying from getting trapped in those floodwaters, unfortunately, from where we're standing, we can actually see someone right down there in the bottom of this arroyo. They've been there for about 15 minutes. We've actually seen other people come in and out of the area. Again, it's just unfortunate to see, especially after those 3 deaths that we were reporting on here earlier. Hopefully something will stop this from happening. Reporting live in Albuquerque, Chase Golightly, KOB4.